Hello, Scopers. I'm Aliza Kelly, your host and spiritual friend, and welcome to Horoscope Weekly. This is one of the most intense and important weeks of 2026. Maybe it is the most important week of 2026. Maybe it is the most important week of modern history. Time will tell. But here are 3 things you need to know as we move into this week ahead. Number 1, we have a solar eclipse in Aquarius. Number 2, we have the Saturn-Neptune conjunction that has not taken place in 36 years. And number 3, it's the beginning of Pisces season. As always, I want to remind you of 2 things. Number 1, be sure to listen for both your sun and your rising sign because together, these are going to help tell a more complete story about where this week's themes are showing up for you. And number 2, in astrology, Aries is the first sign, Pisces is the last. So every week we're going to go in zodiacal order. We're going to start with Aries, we're going to end with Pisces. To find your sign easily, you can use these friendly timestamps. Look at that. It's all here for you. Okay, let's dive in. Hello, Aries. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my. It is a week. It is a week. Okay, let's talk about it. Item number 1. Pisces season starts this week, which means it's the season right before your own. And for you, Pisces season is going to put you in this very contemplative, very emotional, very spiritual, almost surrealist sort of space. So you may feel a little more sensy than usual, maybe a little tearful. I know, not your typical Aries energy, but honey, you contain multitudes, and these multitudes are actually going to support you this week because this is a very interesting foundation to establish for item number 2 of the most important happenings of this week / this year / your lifetime, which is a solar eclipse in Aquarius this week. And for you, Aries, this brings you right back to 2016, except this time it's much better. And we also have a Saturn-Neptune conjunction that hasn't happened since 1989, but also it's at a very, very special point in the zodiac at 0 degrees Aries. Yes, Aries, I said Aries. Saturn and Neptune are meeting in your sign. And the combined energy of the solar eclipse and Saturn and Neptune in your sign, 0 degrees Aries, means that big changes are coming right now. They're happening right now as we speak, as you listen to this, as you watch this. It's major. And for you, those changes look a lot like how you, at your core, in your truth, relate to the world around you. Who are your friends, Aries? Who do you inspire? Who inspires you? Who do you want to inspire? If we're being very, very honest, Aries, you have not been embracing the full potential of your leadership capabilities that are intrinsic to who you are. And that is really the thing that needs to change. So with the sun in Pisces and all of this magic happening, go deep, look within, and remember that perhaps the disappointment that you had the very first time you stepped into a leadership role is important to recognize. You need to shower that younger version of yourself with compassion and really tell that little Aries that you got it, that you're in charge now, that you know how to drive this car. So vroom, vroom, baby. It's time to find your power and never, ever apologize for being who you are again. Taurus, okay, deep breath. This week is doing a lot, which means you are going to be doing a lot too. Some stuff you want to do, maybe some stuff you don't want to do, but Taurus, that's life, baby. That's just how it goes. Okay, so let's first start by talking about Pisces season because the sun moves into Pisces this week. And for you, this immediately shifts your attention towards the future you're building and the people that you're building it with. Your social world is going to start changing. Friendships, collaborators, creative partners, long-term goals, all of it is going to be up for renegotiation, and it will be renegotiated. You may feel called to reconnect with a dream that you once had for your life, or you may realize that a vision that you've been loyal to for a very, very long time no longer reflects who you are now and frankly, the type of people that you want to be in community with. So consider all of that for the backdrop of these other big things happening this week, because at the same time, we have a solar eclipse in Aquarius shaking up your public life. And I want you to think back to what was going on in your life in 2016, because this eclipse is going to be directly referencing whatever was happening in your life August 2016. At that time, the energy was asking you to figure out what home meant. But now we're at the 180 of that, baby. The eclipse is demanding you to think about what you actually want to create. What does this future home look like? This can look like a shift in your career direction, a change in how you want to be perceived, or a realization that the definition of success that you have been chasing has never been authentic. Something about your role in the world is evolving, Taurus, and yes, it can and probably will feel destabilizing before it feels empowering. But that's not all, because all of this is going on, and then we have a Saturn-Neptune conjunction. Casually, these two planets are coming together for a once in an every 36-year transit, but it's happening at this very rare, very important point, 0 degrees Aries. And Taurus, I'm not going to lie, it's making you feel a little woozy, to say the least. Old fears, old grief, old narratives about what you are allowed to want are going to rise to the top. But that perspective is also incredibly poignant and important. Trust that everything that's moving and changing right now, your people, your path, your vision, your desire, your inner world, all of it is reorienting you towards a future that actually finally fits, Taurus. So trust the process, even if it's a weird one. Gemini, okay, hi. So major week. The energy is going to stretch you mentally, philosophically, existentially. And I know that might sound scary, but deep down you love it because you are a stretchy, mutable twin legend. You can handle it. And hold on a second, come even closer because I have even better news for you. Even though this week is intense, it's actually incredibly fruitful and positive for you. Now that's tea. Number one, we have a solar eclipse in Aquarius, which is a like-minded air sign, and that is going to blow open your perspective. For you, this is going to be all about beliefs and direction and meaning and your karmic path. So think back to 2016. What were you learning? What were you questioning? What were you chasing, pursuing back then? This eclipse is going to revisit that terrain, but from a wiser vantage. You may change your mind about something you once felt certain about. You may feel pulled to explore a new path of study or travel or find a new spiritual point of view that really cracks open your perspective on reality. Gemini, let your curiosities lead. There is no need to even pretend to be rigid under the sky. And then, just like that, it's Pisces season, which for you is going to turn the volume up on visibility and responsibility, work, reputation, long-term goals, legacy. Gemini, you are going to be front and center for the next 30 days. You might finally be recognized for something that you have been building behind the scenes, or realize that this professional thing is just not working. And now you're going to have the courage to step away. Either way, you are being asked to take your future and all of your hard work very seriously. And then, as if that's not enough, we also have a Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries that hasn't happened in 36 years, activating your social world and your long-range vision. This is about your community, Gemini, and making sure that you have one that really gets what you're doing, that really gets what you're all about. Taken together, this powerful and iconic week is realigning what you believe, what you're building, and who you're building it with. And frankly, it's about time. This is exactly what you have been waiting for. So let's lock in. Cancer. Hello, my darling, my angel, my sweetheart, love of my life. This week is coming for you, but it's not personal. It's coming for all of us, but it is personal because for you, there is going to be a very specific takeaway. So let's talk about what all of this energy looks like from the crustacean point of view. First, you should know that this is the first week of Pisces season. The sun is moving into Pisces, which is a breath of fresh air for you, except it's not air. It's water. It's a cold glass of water for you, Cancer, because Pisces is a like-minded water sign. So with the sun moving into this domain, your world is going to open up. You are going to feel inspired to learn something new or plan a trip or get away or reconnect with a spiritual practice or simply remember that there is a lot more to life than whatever has been stressing you out lately. This is a 30-day chapter that reminds you that adventure is not a waste of time. I mean, how else are you supposed to imagine a future? There's more to learn and there's more to discover, and Pisces season is going to help you do just that. And that's a good thing because this week we also have the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. Ever heard of it? It only happens every 36 years. It last happened in 1989. And it's major for you, Cancer, because it's happening in Aries. And Aries is a fellow cardinal sign. So this conjunction is exactly square 90-degree angle to your sign. For you, Cancer, this is all about your relationship to authority and responsibility and legacy. This is so rare and so important. So for you, this is signaling a real new beginning. You are about to step into a more grounded and more self-defined version of leadership. It's something that you've been building towards for a long time, and now it's finally here. And guess what, Cancer? You're ready. You are ready to say yes to whatever you are going to be presented with this week. Because, there's one more thing I want to mention. We also have a solar eclipse in Aquarius happening this week, okay? Think back to whatever was going on in your life in 2016, specifically August 2016, when we had the full inverse to this eclipse. How has your life changed since then? How have you grown? What have you discovered? Somehow, all of these stories are connected to what this past 10-year journey has been for you. And now you are preparing to start a new chapter. And the takeaway is it's about how you lead and how you are willing and ready to command attention and authority. And Cancer, I can't wait to see how this unfolds. Leo, hello. Okay, take a seat for a second. Or you don't have to. You can also pace if you need to. You can run, whatever. Either way, we need to talk. Because this week puts relationships and power dynamics front and center. And honey, this is really when the intensity of 2026 starts to ramp up because you are going through a metamorphosis. And I'm excited for us. I'm also a Leo, but I'm also scared. But I'm also excited. But I really do think that the combination of those energies is an auspicious way to feel because everything is changing. And that change starts this week. And we're getting ready for it. Okay, so first we have a solar eclipse in Aquarius, your opposite sign. And for you, that's really the headline because it's the first eclipse in a brand new series that's going to be on your axis, the Leo Aquarius axis. Hello. And that's going to last all the way until 2028. Partnerships, commitments, collaborators, rivals, exes, contracts, who you are in relation to and who you are not in relation to is everything right now. Think back to 2016, Leo, especially August 2016. Who were you negotiating with back then? Who had leverage? Who had power? And what sacrifices did you make in order to accommodate these power dynamics? This eclipse brings that storyline back, but now you are not the same person you were back then. You are 10 years older, 10 years hotter. Your life has changed, but even more meaningfully, you are more confident now. Something has really shifted in how you relate, in what you tolerate, and what you are ready and willing to co-create. Because Leo, chances are you're ready to do this on your own. So get it, Leo. You can do it. This is huge. Oh, but that's not all, because we also have a Saturn conjunct Neptune transit that hasn't occurred since 1989, 36 years ago, whatever. And for you, this is going to stretch your perspective on reality. Beliefs that you have outgrown are going to start to fall away. And you are absolutely going to feel called towards a new philosophy, a new direction, a leap of faith that kickstarts a new chapter of your life. This is an amazing time to take a risk, Leo, because whatever you do right now can redefine the next 36 years of your life. That's pretty big. So this is really about trusting your judgment, your intelligence, your wisdom, and believing in your pursuits, recognizing that they are not just silly proclivities, but they are actually expressions of your soul that need your attention. And then finally, don't forget that this is also the week that begins Pisces season. As the sun, your planetary ruler, moves into the last sign of the zodiac, you are going to also find yourself pulled towards reflection and contemplation. And that's fine. It's fine. Listen, Leo, you have a lot going on this week. And Pisces season simply wants to make sure that you are backing up this rapid change with some moody journaling and some remembering and some reflecting and some nostalgia and some looking at old pictures. Frankly, sounds like a good plan to me. I think that it's going to add a lot of dimensionality and purpose and also power and strength to seeing just how far you've come. Let's do it. Virgo, hello. We have a big week ahead for all of us, but definitely for you. But hey, not so fast there, partner. Before you start trying to organize and optimize and figure it all out and fix everything, let's take a pause because it is now officially eclipse season. And that means one thing and one thing only. It is time to surrender. So let's first start by talking about Pisces season, which begins this week. And for you, this puts relationships and emotional entanglements front and center. Pisces is your opposite sign, which means the energy is directed towards your connections. One-on-one dynamics matter more and more over the next 30 days. And these are going to be romantic ones, but they're also going to be professional ones and contractual ones and transactional ones. And yes, Virgo, complicated ones too. You are definitely going to feel more sensitive to other people's moods and needs and expectations, which is fine because relationships matter, Virgo. They really, really matter. They shape and inform your life. So the information and data that you are going to be collecting this week, especially as we approach the lunar eclipse in your sign, which is coming up next a little bit later this month, all of that is going to be pivotal because you are going to be finding that over the next couple of weeks, but starting this week, some relationships are going to end and others are going to ramp up and intensify. So speaking of eclipses, we do have an eclipse this week. Yes, Virgo, we do. This one is a solar eclipse in Aquarius, which for you is going to be addressing your routines, your responsibilities, and the way that your life is structured. So I invite you to think back to August 2016. What did your life require of you back then? This eclipse is going to revisit that terrain, but you know more than you did then, no doubt about it. Something about how you show up every day has to change because that is what eclipses do. They change everything in order to help you get back on track with your karmic path. And thinking to what was going on in your life in 2016 is going to help you understand what worked and what didn't work a decade ago so that you can make more intentional choices this time around. And then finally, lest we forget, a Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries, one of the biggest deals of 2026. And frankly, of our lifetimes. For you, Virgo, this is about trust and intimacy and shared resources and emotional honesty. Old fears around dependence or loss of control are going to come up. Virgo, they're not trying to scare you. This conjunction wants you to see things clearly. This week is about learning that letting go is not the same thing as letting others win. You can still advocate for yourself and trust the divine timing. And when you do that, fight for what you believe in and also know that everything happens at the right time. I promise everything, past, present, and future, is going to start making sense. Hello, Libra. Okay, buckle up because this week is about the 3 P's. Ever heard of it? Pleasure, power, permission. Sounds kind of sexy. You bet it is. I mean, this is one of the most important weeks of 2026. We got to keep it spicy. We got to keep it fun and flirty because there's a lot going on. Okay, so first we have the solar eclipse in Aquarius, and this is shaking up the parts of your life associated with romance and creativity and desire and fun and sensuality. Yes, this is the pleasure P, the P for pleasure, because this solar eclipse is happening in a like-minded air sign. And the energy of this eclipse wants you to explore the concepts of pleasure and desire and artistry and flow as real embodied experiences. So Libra, I want you to think back to August 2016. What was inspiring you then? What was lighting you up? This eclipse brings that storyline back, but honey, you are not here to recreate that same narrative. In fact, you are here to choose differently because this eclipse is 180 degrees different. You are 180 degrees different. You have learned that, yes, it's great to be recognized, but it's more important to be true to yourself. And if that sounds a little cringe, that's also okay, because this solar eclipse in Aquarius is going to remind you that in order to get where you want to go, in order to be the vulnerable artist that can actually make authentic work and connections that are meaningful for your soul, you may, in fact, have to get a little cringe. So get used to it. But that's not all, because we also have this very, very powerful, very rare, super, super important Saturn-Neptune conjunction taking place in Aries this week. Aries is important for you because it's your opposite sign. This transit pulls relationships out of fantasy and into reality. Promises are going to get tested. Dynamics are going to shift. You are going to have to learn that true balance doesn't come from keeping everyone comfortable and pacified. It comes from being honest, even when that changes the terms of the agreement. And then don't forget that we also have Pisces season starting, grounding all of this in your day-to-day life, your body, your schedule, your energy levels. All of it is important. Libra, if your daily reality can't support your joy, your relationships, your fire, your passion, your pleasure, something has to change. And this week, you finally realize what needs to change. And the answer is everything needs to change. Literally every aspect of your life needs to be reimagined right now. And while that might seem like a big undertaking, it's time to do it. Hello, Scorpio. Okay, so everyone is talking about this week. So let's talk about what this week means for you, shall we? Okay, so first up, we have a solar eclipse in Aquarius, and this is taking us all the way back to 2016, which was the first iteration of the most recent series on this axis. This axis being the Leo Aquarius axis. And for you, this activates the very foundation of your life, the bedrock, your home, your family, your emotional safety, your villain origin story, Scorpio. Now, I want you to think back to August 2016. Where were you living then? Literally, but also emotionally. What was happening in your world? What was shifting beneath your feet? This eclipse brings that story back, but it also offers a different perspective on how your life has played out over this past decade. Something about where you belong or what home even means is about to change. And you are going to find yourself open to new and unexpected possibilities about what the future could look like when you stop pretending like everything right now is okay. It's not okay. It's far from okay. And once you acknowledge that and speak it out loud, you're going to find that things start changing really, really quickly, because that's what eclipses do. And then right after that, the sun moves into Pisces and Pisces season begins. And for you, this does no doubt open up a lot of creative and romantic possibilities because the sun is moving into a water sign and you're a water sign. But since this is happening right after that solar eclipse, you are also thinking about the ways that love and artistry and sensuality have maybe been denied or blocked or eclipsed in your life. So Pisces season isn't going to shame you for the choices that you have made. It's actually going to help you contextualize them. It's going to show you how often you postponed or denied pleasure in order to survive or stay loyal or keep the peace or whatever it is. And over the next 30 days, you're not going to be attempting to fix something. You are going to start to realize what needs to change. Maybe that also is going to mean that you have to grieve a little and prepare yourself to make different choices moving forward so you don't end up in the same situation again. But that's not all, because this week we also have Saturn conjunct Neptune in Aries. And whatever, this major event that hasn't happened in 36 years. For you, this is reorganizing how you move through your days, your work, your health, your routines, your boundaries, your burnouts. All of it is under review. Scorpio, you are going to be asked to stop confusing exhaustion with purpose. This week is going to make it abundantly clear that sustainability is not a compromise. It's the only way forward. So all in all, this week is going to connect private reckoning with pleasure, day-to-day realities. It's going to whip them all up. And it's going to make you realize that none of these are separate issues. Things need to change in your life, Scorpio, because let's be honest, you haven't been as happy as you should be. You know what you need to shift. And this time, you're really going to do it. Sagittarius, hello, hi. Okay, I really mean it when I say that this is one of the biggest weeks of 2026, maybe of our lifetime. Wow, that's wild, right? But seriously, Sagittarius, everything is changing. And for you, it starts with how you think and how you speak and how you understand your own reality. So let's begin with the solar eclipse in Aquarius, because this is the first event of the week and it's major. It's the first eclipse of a brand new series that's going to continue through 2028. And interestingly, this is the inverse of whatever you experienced back in 2016, which means your perspective has now flipped. So think back to August 2016. What conversations were shaping your life? What decisions were you making based on the information that you thought was complete, but now in retrospect, you see it wasn't? This eclipse revisits that terrain and it rewires it. It's going to make you realize things that might shock you. A conversation is going to be very illuminating. You're going to say something or finally hear something that actually changes the way you understand a situation entirely. And that is going to yield a big breakthrough. And then Pisces season begins. And this fellow mutable energy is going to start turning you inward towards your home and your family, your emotional safety, the parts of life that you don't always prioritize, but right now they matter. You may feel a little more sensitive, a little more nostalgic, a little more aware of what you need in order to be grounded. All of that is a good thing. Pisces season is not saying, okay, Sagittarius, we're going to make you go into hermit mode and retreat forever. You're not being caged, Sagittarius. It's merely asking you to remember the foundation and where you came from and why these roots matter. But wait, because that is not all. No, 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 no. We also have the one, the only Saturn conjunct Neptune in Aries, a once in every 36-year alignment that is truly a paradigm shift. And for you, Sagittarius, this is occurring in a fellow fire sign, Aries. So it's about creativity and desire and joy and self-expression, but also in this very, very powerful and game-changing way. Fundamentally, it has to do with the ways that your art and your freedom and your self-expression can and will shape the next chapter of your life. You don't need to apologize for who you are, Sagittarius. In fact, with all of this energy of the week coming in hot, we want you to be more of you. Be more Sag. Be the most. Be the most Sag you can possibly be. We love to see it. Ahoy, Capricorn! Turn the ship. Big, big, big week. Icebergs straight ahead. Big week ahead. Wait, I feel like all Capricorns secretly have like sailor fantasies. Is that true? Can a Capricorn out there in our community confirm or deny? Do you have sailor fantasies? Anyway, getting back to this week, this is a big one, honey. This is going to be a week that changes everything, that's going to change your life, and there is a lot we need to talk about. So get your life vest on because we're going for it. Okay, so let's start first with the solar eclipse in Aquarius, because this one is going to be coming for your relationship with money, security, self-worth, what you value, things that can be very, very triggering for a Capricorn. Think back to August 2016, because that is when we had the 180 of this eclipse. What were you building back then? What were your finances like back then? What did stability mean to you at that point in your life? This eclipse this week is the inverse of that moment. And it's asking you to reassess what you are investing in financially, energetically, emotionally. Something is going to shift around income, resources, priorities, and it's going to make it very clear that you're not here to play games. You are not here to be taken advantage of. You are not here to settle for less than you know you deserve, because you know your worth, baby. That's what I'm talking about, Capricorn. Get it. Okay, and then Pisces season also begins this week, and that is going to shift your attention, especially externally, to communication. Conversations matter, contracts matter, what you say and how you say it and who you say it to matters. Over the next 30 days, you are going to be asked to slow down and pay attention to the way that you communicate and how that does or doesn't open up possibilities for you. And tying that into some of the themes of the eclipse, how you can negotiate your worth through your words. There's information coming in that's going to help you make smarter, more aligned decisions. But you need to be strategic about what you say and who you say it to. And then, as if that's not enough, we have Saturn meeting Neptune in Aries, a once in an every 36-year alignment, activating your very foundation, home and family, emotional safety, where you come from, your parents, your origin. All of this is going to be very loud right now. Capricorn, this is about redefining what security really means. And it's establishing a new set of rules that are in alignment with your life, your values, your reality. Capricorn, I'm going to be so very for real right now. You are not a victim of your past. So even if that shaped you, whatever you experienced, whatever you endured, it informed you, it hardened you. Yes, it is up to you to decide how you want to bring that into your current reality. It is up to you to decide whether those stories, those origins are supporting you or if they are limiting your potential. If you are a little intimidated, don't be. You're a Capricorn. This is exactly what you have been preparing for, and this is exactly what you need to start the next chapter of your life. Hello, Aquarius. Hi, hi, hi. Okay, big week. And I know that you're like, okay, I get it. Everyone keeps saying that. But for thou, this is not hyperbolic, honey. This is everything. Okay, so let us start with the solar eclipse that's happening in your sign because, yes, put that on the marquee, baby. Aquarius, hello, this is huge. This is the first eclipse of an entirely new series on your axis, and it's the inverse of whatever you experienced back in 2016. So think back to August of that year. Who were you then? What version of self were you experimenting with? What identity were you trying on? This eclipse brings that storyline back around, but now from the opposite direction. August 18th, 2016, we had a lunar eclipse in Aquarius. Now we have a solar eclipse in Aquarius. You are not trying to become someone anymore. You are someone now. And this eclipse is asking you to embrace that reality fully. This is about your body. It's about your presence, your choices, your name on the door. Now through 2028, get ready to experience a whole new version of yourself unlock because guess what, honey? Soon the North Node of Destiny is going to be in your sign in Aquarius. And when that happens, baby, all bets are off. And then Pisces season begins. And while we can be sad because your birthday season is over, we know that there is a lot going on. And that is okay because now your focus is shifting to money and security and resources and self-worth, what you earn, what you accept, what you tolerate. Over the next 30 days, you are asked to get very honest about whether your material reality is actually reflecting your values. Where are you undervaluing yourself, Aquarius? Where are you being too flexible when you really need to be more firm? Pisces season doesn't want you to disassociate, Aquarius. Ew. It wants you to understand the emotional story that you have been telling yourself about money. And then, as if that wasn't enough, we have a Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries. It hasn't happened since 1989. And for you, this is rewiring how you think, how you speak, how you make meaning, how you find patterns. Your voice matters. Your ideas are impactful. What you say carries consequences. This is the beginning of a much deeper chapter about how you influence, what you teach, how you advocate, and how you communicate your truth. All in all, Aquarius, this week initiates a new version of you. One who knows exactly who they are, one who knows their worth, and who knows how to ask for what you want and need. No more abstract Aquariusing. It's embodiment time, baby. And honestly, you're up for the challenge. I know you are. Pisces, okay, this is your week and the sun is moving into your sign, but it also happens to be one of the most important weeks of 2026 and maybe perhaps time will tell the most important weeks of our lifetime. But you know what we say, right? We say tank, which means there are no coincidences. Because of course, this all would be touching down at the very beginning of your birthday season. How else do we celebrate Pisces birthday other than recognizing and honoring the massive liminal paradigm shifting changes that take place on a personal and collective level? Duh. So Pisces. Okay, so let's start by talking about the solar eclipse in Aquarius. It's the first eclipse of a brand new series that's going to take us all the way into 2028. But now keep in mind that we still have eclipses on your axis, Virgo and Pisces, until next year. So your story, your eclipse story is continuing, right? It's not done yet. But with this solar eclipse in Aquarius, a new narrative is starting. And it's going to be a powerful one for you, Pisces. I want you to think back to August 2016. What were you navigating then? This series is going to be the 180 of whatever was going on in your life back in 2016 actually through 2019. But before it flips on its head, you may notice similar patterns or storylines or themes reemerging. So give yourself some time and space to observe how this whole decade is looping back around and really asking you to think about how much has changed and transformed in your life. And then boom, it's Pisces season, your season. Hello, your solar return. Happy birthday, Pisces. A brand new 30-day cycle is starting with the sun in your sign, shining directly on you, you gorgeous mermaid you. This is your annual reset. This is your moment in the sun. Your very necessary, very timely annual reminder that you are not here to shrink or hide or dissolve. You are here to take up space. Over the next month, you get to redefine who you are and who you are becoming, how you show up, how you shine, how you honor your intuition without ever apologizing for being the psychic baddie that you are. This is about being yourself, Pisces. And maybe we can all learn something from you over the next 30 days about magic and spirituality, or simply being like a mermaid in the deep sea. We all should know how to do that, right? And you're going to lead the way. But that's not the end. That's not the end of the week ahead, because we also have the Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries, a once in an every 36-year alignment, bringing these lessons home in a very real and tangible way. This is about money and resources and self-worth and survival. Pisces, the dream doesn't work if you don't believe that you deserve to achieve it. This transit is going to help you stop romanticizing scarcity and actually get serious about building a better tomorrow. You can be magical and materially secure. Those things are not in conflict. In fact, they are meant to work together. Ultimately, Pisces, this week clears out the past, ignites you in the present, and forces a serious conversation about what you want for the future. You are not just drifting into the next chapter, Pisces. You are choosing it with intention. And the way you step into that makes all the difference in the world.